2021, making masks cool. Hey friends, Joe the Farmer here, and today is an exciting day. This is one of the most important deer season days of the summer or spring. It's May. So today is early May, and it is time to do our first spraying of our food plots. Deer season is kind of a year-round thing here on the farm. We really enjoy doing wildlife management really throughout all 12 months of the year. There's always something to be done, and in May, this is the time for our first spraying for any of the no-till food plots that we're gonna do. If you're new to the channel, we're a family of 5 on about 125 acres, and we like to hunt, fish, and do all that different stuff. So if you're new and you want to stick around, we'd love to have you. Just hit that little subscribe button down there and you can come along with us in the future. For those of you who do come with us and have watched some of our deer videos before, we just got our feeders out a little while ago, filled them up with about 1,000 pounds of feed. In Tennessee, where we are, you cannot bait, you cannot have any kind of feed out there, so we'll remove the feeders sometime around Halloween. Really, Halloween's kind of the cutoff for us, where we say, hey, no more guns being shot. We're just gonna go and shut it down until the first day of the season. As I'm doing this video, I hear a turkey about 200 yards that way gobbling like crazy, and it's killing me not to go get that sucker, but I have work to do and this has to get done. Glyphosate, which is what I have here, I picked this sprayer up today, Tractor Supply, glyphosate and 2,4-D. So real quickly I'm going to go through this because I know a lot of you out there do no-till plots, and it's always confusing on glyphosate labels. I mean, if you look at that thing, it's like a booklet. You could read a novel on that thing. Use 2 quarts per acre of glyphosate to kill it off, and 2,4-D I'll only use in the first application. It's a much more powerful chemical, and the difference is glyphosate is neutralized by soil. Once glyphosate or Roundup hits soil, it's neutralized, it's done. You can actually throw seed on the ground, spray glyphosate over it, and it's not going to hurt it. It's a post-emergent, which means when the plant grows, it goes into the plant base. Sometimes I see people spray Roundup and they're trying to get into the roots, and it doesn't get into the roots. You have to get on the broadleaf. It will soak into the root system and then kill the plant very quickly. 2,4-D, it's a different animal. 2,4-D is a much more powerful chemical. It will stay in the soil for anywhere from 20 days to an entire month. What we're doing is fall food plots. This has nothing to do with any kind of spring food plots. Spring food plots here in Tennessee are pointless. My friends up north, you all know that hunting season, you have frost and snow and everything else, it's all covered up. And things here in Tennessee, it could be, I think 3 years ago on our deer camp, it was 60 degrees and we were fishing in shorts. So, you know, it's just one of those things in Tennessee, you never know what the weather's gonna be. February or March, we may have a ton of frost and ice and snow and everything else, but really early in the season, we're not gonna have that kind of issue. We're not competing with the weeds in the spring. What we wanna do is when the weeds start to die off, which deer love to eat, we want to make sure we have palatable food, a food source, really to help their bodies and help them grow, but also, of course, to hunt over, and, you know, if we see that big old buck come out, then we take the shot. I need to put the sprayer together. Again, it's a 25-gallon Workhorse sprayer from Tractor Supply. And I'm hoping I can use my Kawasaki Mule. I would probably usually use my Coleman Sector 550, which is it's a UTV that they sell at TSC. They're actually great little machines, but it does not have power steering. The Mule has power steering. That may sound kind of like a, you know, simple thing, but power steering when you're going around tight little circles for, you know, 3 or 4 acres, which is what I intend to spray today, it can get to be a bit of a bear when you're going those tight areas on that thing. I could really give your arms a workout. So I'm gonna borrow Holly's Kawasaki Mule, and hopefully none of you all will tell her. So let's get this thing put together, and then I'm gonna fill it up, and I will not put the chemicals in the sprayer until I'm on the field, because if I kill Holly's lawn, she's not gonna be happy. So let's get this done. Okay, not that bad. It didn't take too much time to set up, but I will tell you there's definitely some work that could be done on the instructions. Not very detailed, is what it is, but I did have to do a little bit of, you know, configuration. This is definitely made for an ATV. It should work well on this UTV. It should be perfectly fine, but in the future, I will probably just set this thing up on my four-wheelers throughout the growing season, then just use it on there. But today, I'm gonna put it on here, get this thing rolling, and then so yeah, I'm just gonna put some water in here, do a spray test, kind of get an idea how wide this boomless sprayer will spray. Because again, a boomless sprayer does not have the big wands going off either side. With all the fences and trees and stuff coming out here, like I know I'll hook that thing on something. I've done it before, and I don't want to do it with this one. So being boomless, this is really just, it sprays out. There's nothing hanging out, so I need to figure out with water how far it will spray. I'll probably test it on the driveway here, and then once we're done with that, we'll fill it up, and then we'll start spraying fields. See how it works.
All
All right, so that's a good 10 feet wide. That's not bad. I think there's enough water in there. I may fill it up a little bit more, and then let's get to work. Okay, so I want to give you a quick idea of what I'm trying to do here. So if you follow the channel, last year I was able to shoot that 13-point buck from the muddy blind that's up here. That buck was down here in this little food plot, which kind of failed halfway through the season. And fortunately, my friend Paul from Whitetail Food Plots USA, he gave me some advice, sent me some seed, and that food plot actually did really well and attracted a lot of deer. But look how small that thing is with how much land we have here. Deer pass back here all the time. I really need this to be a recruitment tool because, over here, there's just so much more opportunity that we can have with this field. But it's incredibly rocky, so the only way that I can think to get this thing into being a decent food plot is by doing the no-till method, which is spray 3 times, have bare soil, cast brassica and clover, let that kind of get where it needs to be, and then come September, if it's not really growing in or it's not what I hope in the first year, then what I'll probably do is hit it with some rye and cereal grains and, call it good. But as you look from this muddy blind to this blind, which is right over there, I have another food plot over here. This is the original food plot we did here on the property, and that one's always done very, very well. We use a lot of Paul's from Whitetail Food Plots USA. We use his plot perimeter around the outside of it, Meadow Mix Plus, and then the rut time tubers, and that is a fantastic product. I mean, the seed works awesome. There's no filler in there, and I bought that seed last year, so this isn't like a endorsed thing, but Paul, he's just an amazing guy, super smart, knows everything about food plots, and I really trust what he says. And you kind of have to deal with the land that you have, and here we have rocky ground and it doesn't look that way, and this looks like it'd be great hay ground. To get hay equipment on here it's just a challenge. It's very, very hilly. The camera doesn't do it any justice. If you look at the UTV from here, you can almost see it's just a straight shot down. So I even have to think about having 25 gallons of water in the back at 8 pounds a gallon. It's about 300 pounds, 36 inches off the ground. You have to start thinking about tipping, and I'm gonna be incredibly careful, and I know this land, and I'm out here all the time, so I kind of know where the ruts and things are. But this is just a really tough area. It'd be a great area for cattle, but that's just not the window of life we're in right now. So today we are going to spray about 2 acres here, maybe 1.5 acres here, and then that plot's about 1/2 acre, and then let this die off, and then really kind of get up in that muddy blind when it dies, get an idea of what it looks like, and then really kind of get a better plan from there. That food plot is full of weeds. This food plot's full of weeds. Just by doing this, I think we're just gonna have a much, much better opportunity to harvest the deer that we want to harvest. So let's get to work. Never seems to fail. You go to spray field, starts to drizzle every time. But like they say in Tennessee, if you don't like the weather, stick around for 15 minutes, it'll change. Okay, now got the other 2 plots sprayed. Worked great. This thing, it's going to take a little bit of time. A brand new sprayer. I'm probably putting too much product out right now. It's just kind of is what it is when you're starting with something new like that. I've never used it before. I'll get it dialed in over time, but this is the area I'm the most excited about showing you all, and I really want some feedback, what you all think I should do here. It's very hilly. I mean, if you've ever watched that video, number 1 cause of tractor accidents, I don't remember what it was called. I'll put a link to it up here, but just showed you what it looked like when I took my big tractor back here and we had a bunch of cows loose and we had to repair a fence. This got so thick that we just cut it, and we didn't cut a ton of it, but there's a lot of mature bucks back here, and this is an area where we really kind of, I think we're missing out on some opportunity. What I really want your input on it is, do you think I should put a tree stand back here? I could move the Banks blind back here, which is, you know, it's a really cool blind, and just find a level spot. Or I even thought about, almost if the wind's right, just doing a stalk hunt where you just get a chair somewhere back here and wait for something to come by. So I'm gonna put some food out here, kill this off, make it a plot, make it a destination where some does may stop, and then maybe a buck would feel comfortable enough with all of this cover around, you know, to come out. And it'd be a tough place for an all-day sit. You know, I fidget too much. I can't really sit still, as you may be able to tell from the videos. But I'm gonna keep a lot of this over here. This thicker stuff is bedding as just sanctuary. But over here is where I do wanna, you know, where it's opened up, maybe do like a lima bean looking plot or around those trees. Just do something to where you'd have an opportunity maybe to pull some deer in and maybe a, you know, a big buck. So I don't think I can really do anything over that hill. We'll head up there in a minute and I'll show you. But where those 3 trees are, I feel like I could kind of, you know, maybe kill around those and stick a, you know, maybe a blind back here in this tree. I'd love your input. Leave it in the comments and tell me what you would do. I can tell you that at this point, it's a low-lying area. Deer love to travel these low-lying areas because it makes them feel safe. You know, it's just a great travel corridor. I could even put a blind right here and make this more of a gun blind, because that's probably only about 150-yard shot. So, you know, even with a muzzle loader, I could probably do that if my scope is on properly, which we'll address that with some Loctite this year. Let's head down there, let's spray it. Regardless, this is always so thick. Just to get to the back side of the property, it's almost impossible unless you cut and then drive behind it, because I beat my UTVs up enough, and I think I tore one CV boot on one of them just driving back here. So I think that's the question. Too blind or not too blind? That is the question. Let's go. Give something new a try. Lick 'em, stick 'em. I'm always willing to try something new. I promise you, this smells exactly like those red and white peppermints, like the ones that are in a circle you smash up and put on stuff. But yeah, lick 'em, stick 'em, Texas. We'll give it a shot. Okay, so I got those first 2 fields done. That was a piece of cake. Those were really easy. It's just kind of like driving on your lawn or hay fields. There's not a whole lot to them. But over that hill, I'll tell you, that thing beats you to death. That Kawasaki Mule is a great machine. It's very smooth, usually on gravel, and it has power steering, which is nice. But that Coleman, that Tractor Supply UTV, that Coleman Sector 550, I don't know what's in the suspension of that thing, but it'll eat up bumps and rocks and everything else like nobody's business. It doesn't have power steering. Now, if that had power steering and that suspension, I'd probably be, you know, that'd be my favorite. So moving on, there's 2 big anniversaries coming up. One is my 15-year wedding anniversary to Holly. We were married 15 years ago, almost to the day, in a few days. I'm not sure when this is going to get posted, but May 6th is our 15-year anniversary, which is just unbelievable. I mean, what a blessing to be married to the same person for that long. And I know a lot of you out there have wives and husbands, and, you know, leave a comment, let me know how long you've been married. And 15 years to me is a lot, but maybe you've been married 25 or 35. Or I'll never forget going to Holly's grandparents' 65th wedding anniversary, and it was early in Holly's and my relationship. And, you know, you go to someone's 65-year wedding anniversary, you're just like, oh, that's great, congratulations. After your first year of marriage, you're like, wow, how did you all do that? But it's been great. It's been a wonderful 15 years, and I look forward to as many years as the Lord's going to give us together. And she's my best friend. So, and I mean that. I'm not saying that on camera, and she may not even watch this, but just being honest. Second big anniversary we have around here, we're about to hit 1 year of this YouTube channel, which we started this just as fun, kind of as a challenge, saying, you know, could I edit these videos? Could I bring the camera with me? It'd kind of be fun just sharing this. And, you know, 1 year and almost 1,000 subscribers, which is, I don't know, that's That just seems really strange to me, and I'm so grateful and blessed that you all come along with us. And I hope that you've seen us grow as a channel, and the content's getting better, and that's really our goal. I would love one day for my grandchildren to be watching these videos along with you all, but I really started this so the kids and my grandkids and everything could see me out here working on the farm and maybe learn something. So they don't always want to come with you, but they sure as heck like to watch YouTube. So hey, what's one way to teach your kids? But seriously, thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. It's coming up. It'll happen sooner than later, I hope. And we're going to do some really fun stuff when we hit that 1,000 mark. So I suggest you watch the end of the videos, because if you watch throughout the whole video to the end, we're going to have some maybe trivia stuff and just stuff about us here as a family. So if you've been watching the videos, you're probably going to be able to pick up on some of this stuff, and these aren't going to be hard. But I really want you all to celebrate this milestone with us, because we can't do it without you. And that's why we say, subscribe, and the likes, likes help other people see the videos, help us grow. That's motivation, right? If you make the video, you want people to see it. We'll have some really nice things to give away, and if you all have questions, maybe we'll do like a 1,000th subscriber video to where we answer some questions. There may be some things about us that you all want to know and you just had questions about, and put them in the comments of this video or other videos and let us know and say, hey, for the 1K, so for the 1K video, I'd love you to answer this question. And probably not going to give you all of our secrets, like the safe combination or anything like that, but we're happy to share things with you, as a lot of you shared with us. So appreciative, so grateful. I'm rambling. I tend to do that when I kind of reflect, but anyway, I'm gonna end the video here. I do appreciate y'all coming along with me. I'll see you on the next one. I'm Joe the Farmer. We out.